I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach, wa Malak Yahushua. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that go out there and labor on the highways and byways, making their body living sacrifice. In the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprises, the uproars, they're out there standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, right, being diligent, taking notes, doing everything they could do to put themselves in a position to go out there to shake the hand, to wake up the hopeful elect. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty Akwaf in this thing, that sincerely reverence their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, being quiet, shamefaced, submissive, loving, steadfast, cooking, sewing, cleaning, doing all of the righteous acts of our foremothers on fire for the Lord. Another strong shalom to all the mighty Akwaf that are not married as of yet, but building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, being shamefaced, submissive, loving, doing everything they could do to magnify the Lord and the ministry. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty children in this thing, abstaining from all lust and concupiscence, standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord. And last but not least, another strong shalom to the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad, reading, praying, fasting, making their body living sacrifice in the last days. And this is going to be a breakdown, a quick video on Satan, man. Because a lot of brothers and sisters have Satan hands wrapped around their neck. Meaning whatever Satan wants you to do, when he wants you to do it, what time he wants you to do it, you yield unto his desires and his request. You don't want to be a slave unto Satan. Because then if you'll steal, you'll kill. If you'll grudge, right, you'll commit all manner of lewdness. If you get drunk, you're liable to get high. Right? If you entertain that hate demon, you're liable to put your hands on your wife. If you start to give heed to these spirits and these demons, they're going to overtake you. And they're going to use you and throw you to their own desires. Right? Let me get this quick precept. You have to stay vigilant and watch in the last days. Right? This is the mighty book. Right? I'm going to get 2 Chronicles. This is the mighty book of 2 Chronicles. Right? Chapter 15. And I'm going to start at verse 7. Be strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak. The Lord is telling you to be strong. That's not just talking about be strong in reading. You have to be strong to understand that you're attacked 24/7. You're attacked in your dreams, right? You're attacked when you wake up in the morning. You're attacked at work by your supervisors, your boss, right? Your co-workers. You may be attacked in your own house by demons that hop on your spouse, your children, right? You're attacked in the flesh with infirmities. You're always undergoing attack by the spiritual demon Satan. And as a true warrior and as a true soldier and or commander, right, you can't let up. And Satan doesn't let up. Tell me one day when a brother had a day off from Satan. Satan isn't going to give you the day off. He's going to continue to press and press till he sifts you as wheat. Right? That's why he was created, to be an adversary. Satan's on fire for the Most High. Are you on fire for the Most High? Right? Am I trying to be on fire for the Most High? We got to all examine ourselves and hold ourselves under a microscope and see how Satan has been using and or manipulating things in our lives, and how a lot of the time brothers take the bait. The Lord said, be ye strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. Your work staying on fire is going to be rewarded. Your work in reading is going to be rewarded. Your work in going out there, laboring, shaking the hand in the rain, the sleet, the snow, fighting demons and adversaries, right? That's not going to go for vain. You picking up the slack when your wife has spirits on her, that's not going to go for vain, man. You taking care of the children and giving arms and doing the things that you ought to, it could get wearisome sometimes, man. Brothers may want a day off. They may want to relax, right? A lot of people, they deal with the spirit of I can't take it. Once you have the mindset that you can't take it anymore, I'm sick of this, or whatever the case may do, you're telling Satan he won. When is a man in the midst of battle just threw down his sword and said, I surrender? You know what's going to happen to that man? He's going to get thrust through. He's going to get killed. You have to continuously bear that buckler until the day that the Lord calls you home, huh? You have to continuously bear that shield and draw that sword and be in combat until the day that Yahweh Shem Yahushua calls you in this thing, man. It delivers you out of the midst of adversity and demons and spirits, right? The Lord said, be ye strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. What does it mean? Don't let your hands be weak. Your hands on a spiritual level are your works. Don't let any work that you're doing to the Lord diminish through the spirits that are troubling you, man. Right? Let me get this quick precept. This 2 Chronicles, chapter 20, and I'm going to start at verse number 15. It says, and he said, hearken, ye all Judah, and in the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou King Jehoshaphat, thou sayest to the Lord unto you, be not afraid nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude. So when men went to war, the Lord had to strengthen up the hand of the king, because the king leads the battle. You're the king in the spirit. We can't fear the multitude of these demons, stress and problems arising in our lives, man, because it's only going to get worse. That situation you're dealing with is only going to get 7 times worse, right? That bill was only going to get 7 times worse. That stress and these anguish and these problems are only going to wax worse. The Lord said, don't fear the multitude. And when you're under attack, one spirit isn't just attacking you. It may be 7 spirits, maybe 10 spirits, it may be 12 spirits, maybe 40 spirits. It could be 1,000 spirits. These spirits aren't going to let up once they see that you're giving heed to their desires, because their whole reason why they're sent down is to overtake you. That lust is going to get stronger. That hatred and that envy and whatever you're dealing with at the moment is going to get stronger and stronger. It says, be not afraid nor dismayed by the reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but Yahweh's. So the Lord said, look, if you're really in the spirit, you don't have anything to fear, because the Most High is going to fight for you by you praying, by you reading, by you hopping in a fast, by you reading his words. That's all you need to do is stay spiritual in a moment and battle of adversity. We don't fight with flesh and blood, man. We're fighting with principalities and demons and spirits. See, a lot of our fathers, you know, they really went to war, right? They really grabbed bucklers and shields and they really went out by the thousands, right? We're not doing that now. We're on a high level of attack because spirits know that the kingdom draweth nigh. And as many soldiers that he could take out of the Lord's army, the less stronger it'll be. It says this, I'm jumping down to verse number 23. I'm going to start at 24. It says, and when Judah came toward the watchtower in the wilderness, they looked unto the multitude, and behold, there were dead bodies fallen to the earth, and none escaped. So when you call upon the name of the Lord, it's dead bodies everywhere, man. You think these spirits and these demons can stand up to Yahweh Shem Yahushua? What happened in Mark, the 1st chapter? And that spirit said, I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of Israel. Hey, that spirit said to Paul, Paul I know, Yahweh I know, but who are ye? You have to have authority over these demons and these spirits, or else they're going to know your spirit. Look, this is the brother Zion. He's always giving heed to lust. This is the brother Zion. He's always giving heed to hatred. No, this is the sister, whatever her name may be. She's always giving heed, right, to grudges. They're not going to respect that prayer, because prayer has no force, because you don't even believe the things that you're even saying. Nor are you working toward the desires of your prayer that you're asking the Heavenly Father. Because in a moment of adversity, you always crack. It says this, and when Judah came toward the watchtower in the wilderness, they looked unto the multitude, and behold, there were dead bodies, fallen to the earth, and none escaped. And when Jehoshaphat and his people came to take away the spoil of them, they found among them in abundance both riches with the dead bodies and precious jewels, which they stripped off for themselves more than they could carry away. So when you win a battle, man, you increase in the spirit, right? The Lord said, he that passed over a transgression, happy is he, paraphrasing greatly. So when you beat the battle, you retain riches. You move up in the spirit, right? And that's how you got to look at this thing when you're in war. Well, let me get this quick precept in Job. This is Job chapter 13 and verse number 27. Thou puttest my feet also in the stocks. A stocks is an old way, right, to lock you up. Like they don't put slaves in the stocks. Those are shackles on your feet. It says, thou puttest my feet also in the stocks. Your feet is in the stocks. That means you can't move. And when these spirits have a hold on you, they locking you up. And you can't feel like you can move and do the things that you ought when you don't understand the power that you possess, right? Brothers are gods walking this earth. And gods have power and strength. Jacob wrestled with an angel to the breaking of the day. That says a lot through the spirit that we can overtake a spirit. We have more authority. We're the son of God, man. And we're literally could reign over everything that's on this earth, even spirits that come down. The Lord said, rejoice not that your names are written in the book of life, right? You should rejoice that you have power over these spirits, man. So like you don't rejoice that you have power over these spirits, but that your name is in the book of life. It says, thou puttest my feet also in the stocks, and lookest narrow into all my paths. Thou settest a print upon the heels of my feet. So, I mean, as you walk, right, maybe in a desert, in sand, in a wilderness, in a pathway, right, you leave footprints. Just like spirits, right, they're following that footprint. Everywhere you go, they're following you. They're following you to the bathroom. They're following you to work. They're following you to your wife, right? They're following you here. They're following you there. And they're going to lock you up in stocks, right, if you're not let free through the spirit, man. You have to fight in this thing because you're going to be put in chains, right? That's Sirach chapter 40 and verse 1. A heavy yoke is placed on the sons of Adam, right? Let me get this quick precept in Psalms chapter 88. This Psalms chapter 88, right? And I'm going to start at verse number 15. And it reads, I am afflicted and ready to die from my youth up. While I suffer thy terrors, I am distracted. So even David said in the spirit, look, I get distracted when I'm suffering all of these terrors, man. And that takes your mind off of the Lord when you're distracted. Look at Peter when he stepped out on the water with all of the boisterous wind that come to Yahushua. He got distracted. Wasn't that Peter was evil or he was off, right? He lacked faith by the distraction of everything going on around him. And brothers aren't necessarily evil and wicked, but don't lose distraction by that bill, man. Don't lose distraction by that spirit hopping on your wife. Don't lose distraction by money not coming in. Don't lose distraction when Satan has knocked you down 6 times. You got to rise up 7 for completion. Don't get distracted in the cares of this life. And the Lord said, I'm afflicted and ready to die, for my youth up. While I suffer thy terrors, I am distracted. Thy fierce wrath goeth over me. Thy terrors have cut me off. So when terrorists and troublous times come, you get distracted, man. Hey, let it be a bomb or a roar or a missile or something going on. A lot of brothers' mind will be, well, what to do next? Where did this missile come from? And not upon prayer and the Most High. That should be your first line of defense to fight off anything, whether it be physical or carnal. Right? Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 102. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 102 and verse 19. For he have looked down from the height of his sanctuary. From heaven did the Lord behold the earth. So as the Lord's beholding the earth, this is what it's saying. To hear the groaning of the prisoner, to loose those that are appointed to death. And who's more in prison than a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American? Yeah, that's talking about physical, but it's more spiritual than anything. Because there may be Jakes that have never been locked up. It may be children that are crying inside. Maybe wives, right? Now, this isn't necessarily just talking about a physical loosing from prison. Like the Lord's only coming back, right, to come to Rikers Island, man. This is more spiritual than anything. Who's in prison that wants to be perfect, but they can't, right? Through the lack of yielding to Satan's desires to the point where it's about to make them fall out the truth. That's the crying that the Lord's coming to behold. He's coming to save the prisoner, man. Bound in shackles, bound in sin, bound in iniquity, bound in going off, and he doesn't want to go off, man. I don't know how many brothers want to go off, but I don't want to go off, man. And when you go off, it makes you feel horrible. It makes you feel like you displease the Heavenly Father to the point where you feel like a hypocrite. You may feel like, the Most High not dealing with you. You may start to debase yourself mentally, and now you're dealing with all type of spirits of depression. Why you may feel like the Most High, isn't really strong with you anymore. Am I forgetting precepts? And, anything wrong going on in your life is judgment and you're fearful. And if that mind continues to stay in that repetition too long, guess what? You're going to fall away. And that's how strong sin is. That's why that's the last thing that has to be defeated is death and sin. Right? This is the book of Psalms, I'm going to read that again. Chapter 102 and verse 19. For he looketh down from the height of his sanctuary. From heaven did the Lord behold the earth, to hear the groaning of the prisoner, to loose those that are appointed to death. So you have to pray that you don't have a sinful like nature and a sinful like mind, a sinful like spirit, a spirit of guile and wickedness, a spirit that's accustomed to doing evil, accustomed to wickedness, right? You got to pray, because whether brothers know it or not, man, Satan has a hold, but that doesn't mean that he's going to overcome you, right? I mean, what man in battle, has never, ever caught to where he had to slay 2 or 3 men? Even David, when he went to war, David never failed, but I'm sure David got busy. I mean, I'm sure, let me get this account real fast. Hey, David was waxing faint in battle, and the 3 men had to burst open the hole to give him some water. That's spiritual. Even the elect could fall, man. Let me get this quick precept. So I can bear with me. It's the mighty book, right? Let me see what I want. This whole thing is fire. I'm gonna start at 2 Samuel chapter 23 and 14. It says, and David was then in an hold in the garrison of the Philistines, was then at Bethlehem. And David longed and said, oh, that one would give me drink of water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. And the 3 mighty men break through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well. Now that's getting busy in war, man. David's sitting up there about to faint, and these men burst open through the hole, slaying on their right hand and on their left hand. That's how brothers got to be when a brother's catching hell, man. No matter who that brother is. Got to break open that door and call that brother. Fast with that brother and pray with that brother and make sure that that brother's okay, man. It says, and the 3 mighty men break through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto the Lord. And that's spiritual, man. Because David didn't want to receive the carnal help and the carnal water and a carnal saving. It's all spiritual. Because who saves? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Who gives you the true drink of water? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Who truly defends you in the spirit? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And David knew that. And David wouldn't let these men risk their lives, right? Because they could have died for the sake of him. And that's the spirit when you go into it, right? Now I want to read up. This is the book, right, of 2 Samuel chapter 23 and verse number 10, right? And it reads, it says, and he rose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary. So when you go to war, it said the men of God, the mighty men, these aren't just anybody. This is David's hitmen. It's David's mighty army. It said, man, he was smiting the enemy until his hand was weary. And you know what his hand was gripping on? It was gripping on the sword. Now, when you grip on the sword, you're not slicing onions, man. You're not chopping up carrots in the kitchen. When a man of God grabs the sword, it's only for one reason. That's for death, for persecution, it's for war, for battle. And these men that were out there gripping the sword and slaying so long till your hands start shaking. And I don't know if anybody does physical labor or physical jobs. You may work with a jackhammer, maybe trying to shovel for 3-4 hours, or grip something and trying to hold it up, and dealing with PVC pipe and all type of bars and masonry and things like that. Your hands can have tension and your hands can start shaking. And these men were fighting so long, gripping the sword for so long, that the hand started shaking and got weary. And his hand clave unto the sword. And the Lord wrought a great victory. So when the Lord wrought a great victory, the men of God, they go hard. You don't win a victory and overcome Satan with no action. Can't have faith with no works. Just got all the faith, but no works behind the things that you look for. Look at David. He had faith he could overtake Goliath through the Spirit. And his works was that going out there that the Lord was going to defend him and help him. It says this, and his hand was weary, and he clave unto the sword. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. All right, let me get this quick precept. Go to Isaiah chapter 59. It's Isaiah chapter 59. And I'm going to start at 15. It says, yeah, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. So when you depart from evil and you start doing the right thing, then people are looking at you to laugh at you, to joke at you. You lose friends. Hey, some people lose confidence, right? You just become a prey. Meaning that these spirits are out to now take you down. And when you're an individualite and you don't have a congregation and or a family or help, that could be discouraging. A lot of brothers just keep getting tempted and tempted. They don't have nobody to get on them. And you need a brother and a sister in the spirit to get on you, man. If you're the only one getting on yourself, that's not good. Because you have to be the elect to be able to see deep down within what you really need to examine. Because somebody's going to see something that you don't see. What happened to Saul's servants? Saul's servants perceived that he had a demon on him. Right, let me get that real fast. And Saul didn't know he had a demon on him. His servants perceived it. That's why they had to go get David to play the harp. So somebody may see something on you that you don't see and know that Satan has you bound up, whether by an evil woman, right? Whether by lust, by idleness, by a lack of motivation, or whatever spirit that you may be battling, they can see those things. It's 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse number 15. Right, I'm going to start at 14. It says, but the spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from the Lord troubled him. So spirits trouble you, man. You know, when you're out, you know, in a backyard and or the wilderness or whatever the case may be, or, you know, at a picnic or a party, whatever the case may be, those bugs be out there, man. You know, you have mosquitoes, flies, gnats. They trying to get in your drink. Right, mosquitoes trying to sting you and you flinging your hand and everywhere. That's how these spirits are. Every 5 seconds they're bothering you and troubling you. It says, and Saul's servants said unto him, behold, now an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. And there's no in-depth breakdown of what he was doing for them to perceive that. Right, you may be laughing a little bit too much and, you know, in a spirit of mirth and not a spirit of seriousness. You may be a goofball and you're not taking anything serious. That's an evil spirit troubling you, man. A spirit of relaxation, of contentment, a spirit not of zeal and to go hard. Somebody could perceive a spirit on you of just laziness. You used to labor, but you don't labor anymore. You don't desire to do anything that you should be doing for the Most High. You don't desire to go harder. And somebody could see that. You're content with a prayer and a chapter a day. You're content with what just watching the video. And somebody could see that spirit on you. Hey, man, I see where you used to be in. It's not where it should, man. So having somebody in your corner and a brother to get on you and righteously smite you is going to help you through the spirit, man. Look at Jonathan and David. Tight-knit relationship. You understand? Look at Abraham and Lot. You need men that are going to help you and push you and be there for you right through the spirit. It says this. Let our Lord now command thy servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player of the harp. So they're trying to get Saul the help he needs. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit of God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hands, and thou shalt be well. And Saul said unto his servants, provide me now a man that can play well. So Saul's servants weren't there to help see what was on him. He would have never got the help that he truly needed, man. So all you brothers that are by yourself, you want to stay by yourself, you want to disconnect from the light, you don't want to come out, you don't want to do the work, you just want to be by yourself. Those spirits that are on you is nothing more than a shackle. A shackle could come a million different ways. Women are bound up and they don't even know it by certain things that they do. Men are bound up, children are bound up. We all have some type of shackle that's on us, whether we can perceive it or not. And if you think you're free and you're not dealing with any problems, and Satan doesn't have you some type of way or troubling you some type of way, right, then you don't need to pray. You don't need to fast. You don't need to read, right, because you got it all figured out. And we know that that's not so. Right, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book, right? Back to Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 14 again. It says, and I'm going to start at 15. Yet truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. Check this out. And he saw that there was no man, and wondered that where, Slakia, there was no intercessor. Therefore his arm wrought salvation, and his righteousness sustained him. So the Lord can see there's no hope. There's no intercessor. There's nobody helping you because you keep falling. Judgment is increasing, right? Wickedness is increasing, and you don't have a hand to pull you out of that situation, right? Let me get Isaiah chapter 51 and verse number 13, right? And it reads, it says, I'm going to start at 12. I, even I, am he that comforteth you. Who art thou that shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die? And what are you afraid of? Mortal man, because mortal man can die, and of the Son of Man, which should be made as grass, and forgettest the Lord thy maker. Lord said, what are you doing tripping out and stressing about flesh and blood and problems of his life? Because you're forgetting the Lord thy God. That's what you do. You don't just forget the Lord. I forgot to read today. Silly me. Right? You put your palm and you slap your head. You slap your forehead with silly me. No, you forget the Lord when all hell breaks loose. And your first line of defense is carnal weapons, right? Calling somebody, not being spiritual. It says, and forgettest the Lord thy maker, and have stretched forth thy hands, so like thy heavens, and laid the foundation of the earth, and has feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if they were ready to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor? The captive exile hasteneth, that he may be loosened. I'm going to read that again. The captive exile hasteneth, that he may be loosened. A real man that's in bondage wants to hasten to be loosened. And a lot of brothers are comfortable where they are, man. You got to ask yourself, am I comfortable? If you're comfortable, you don't perceive you have spirits on you, man. The quicker you are to pray and ask the Lord to loosen you, the quicker you are with examination and understanding that you have problems. Everybody has problems. The Lord took Enoch away, not because it was too much grass on the earth, man. He didn't take Enoch away because the wind was blowing too fast, man. He didn't take Enoch away, right, because the wild beasts changed their habitation. He took Enoch away lest wickedness should beguile him and deceit beguile his soul, because he pleased the Most High. So we had to hasten to take him away from sinners. And we don't know how many prayers Enoch was throwing up. We don't know how righteous Enoch was. But the Lord said, you know what? This man is so blameless and perfect. I don't want him to be put in captivity and shackles and dragged back to the dark side. Because if we were here for another 10, 20, 50 years, what would happen, man? I have stood next to people that are falling away in the truth. And I said that they would never fall away in the back of my head, man. This brother's strong. This brother's mighty. I've held camp with mighty brothers that have fallen away. I have held camp where I've seen a spiritual blessing and a gift bestowed on a brother that he wasted and didn't use. Therefore, did the Lord take it from him and give it to the next man. I've seen these things. So don't think you can't get devoured or taken away or blown away as if you're just standing firm in this thing, man. Lord said, take heed lest ye fall. Read it on. It says, the captive exile hasteneth, that he may be loosened, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. That's the spirit you got to be in, man. That hasten to be delivered. Right? Let me get this quick precept. It's the mighty book, right, of Jeremiah, chapter 52. It's Jeremiah chapter 52. And I'm going to start at verse number 8. And it reads, "But the army of the Chaldeans pursued after the king and overtook Zedekiah in the plains of Jericho." So the army, it said it pursued the king. An army is nothing more than a host. The Most High is Yahweh of hosts. And who's the host? The holy angels. The holy angels is likened unto an army. You have an army on the right-hand side. You have an army on the left-hand side. You have evil angels sent down for terror, for manipulation, for all manner of confusion, to destroy your mind, to sift you, to have you distracted, to have your mind in 7 places. These demons are doing their job. Just like the same way that little kid got saved by a car, the same way this brother was about to give up, the ghost and the angel came down to strengthen him. The same way it's about to be a tsunami and drown the elect somewhere on a ship, and the angel got sent down to calm down the waters. It's a just balance to that. Don't think all of these things are going down on the right-hand side and it's not matched with the left-hand side, man, of the exact same zeal to destroy you. It says this. I'm going to read it again. "But the army of the Chaldees," right, it's nothing more but demons in the spirit, "pursued the king." And they'll pursue you because you're the king. "And overtook Zedekiah in the plains of Jericho. And all his army was scattered from him." Check that out, man. All your protections could be scattered. Right? Everything that you once had to protect you could be scattered from you, man. And demons now chase you. Let you leave the body in the congregation. That's leaving your army. Let a woman leave her husband. That's leaving that army and that protection. Let children run away from home, or you give heed to not obeying the counsel. You're fleeing from the army and protection by counselors. If you leave Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and the ordinance thereof that's set up, and you flee, guess who's going to pursue you? Demons. Verse 9, "Then they took the king and carried him up into the king of Babylon and Rathbah in the land of Hamath, where he gave judgment upon him. And the king of Babylon slew the sons of Zedekiah before his eyes, killed his children. He slew also the princes of Judah and Ramoth." He's doing this all before the king. Verse 11, "Then he put out the eyes of Zedekiah." And this is spiritual if you have eyes to see. Not only did he torture this man, and demons will torture you, right? He left his army scattered from him. His protection was left, right? Then he fled, got taken down by the army. Not only did that happen, but it says, "And he put out the eyes of Zedekiah." What are your eyes spiritually? Eyes to see. These demons will put out your eyes. You once believed something, but now you're thinking, maybe I don't have to hearken to that. Maybe half the Bible isn't real. You know, maybe I just have to hearken just to the law, right? The first 5 books and just the prophets. You know, forget about Nehemiah and forget about, History of Suzanne and Bel and the Dragon. I don't know about Paul's epistles. And now you got spirits on you. And spirits are going to start manipulating your mind and taking out your eyes. Now you can't see. Now you once could break down parables, allegories, and mysteries. You had a desire of prophecy. Now you can't even see what's clearly in Proverbs and Psalms. It says, "He put out the eyes of Zedekiah, and the king of Babylon bound him in chains and carried him to Babylon and put him in prison till the day of his death." And we know what that is spiritually. If Satan bounds you up in prison and put you in chains until the day that you death, that means he put you right back in the congregation of the dead, and you'll never wake up to the knowledge of truth ever again. Once the Holy Spirit is taken from you, it's gone. The Lord said the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit. If you're deceitful when your mind and your spirit has guile, it's going to flee from that. How can a holy, pure, upright, loving, perfect, undefiled, magnificent, glorious spirit that can't be described dwell in a body that's subject to sin, hatred, manipulation, seduction, and all manner of drunkenness? Can 2 walk together unless they be agreed? It says, "And put him in prison to the day of his death," man. Right, let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the mighty book, right, of Matthew. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18, right? And I'm gonna start at this whole thing is fire. 30. It says, and he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. Right? So this is really going into forgiving others, but this is deep in the spirit, right? I'm gonna read that again. I'm gonna start at this whole thing is fire. I'm gonna start at 29. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. And he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. So this man owed this man something. He said, look, man, I'm not having patience. Look, I'm locking you up. And he would not, and went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto their Lord all that was done. Then his Lord, after that he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all thy debt, because thou desirest me. And the Lord forgave you for all your debt, man. We're really supposed to be in utter darkness, but the Lord forgave our debt. Our debt on the spirit is sin. He forgave it. He cleared it, because we really owe the Lord, man. He died for our sins. He purchased us with his own blood, man. He bought you with a price, like the scriptures say. It says, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all thy debt, because thou desirest me. Shouldest not thou also have compassion on thy fellow servant, even as I had pity on thee? This is the point. And his Lord was wroth. So when the Lord get wroth with you, let's see what the Lord does. And delivered him to the tormentors. When the Lord gets wroth with you, what does Yahweh Hashem Yahushua do? He could kill you. He could sift you out. He could put you in a hospital, an insane asylum. But he also could torture you with the torments till he should pay all that was due to him. Meaning what? Let these demons and these spirits have their way with you till you can pay back the Lord by all the sin that you have done. And that can never happen. So once the Lord deliver you up to the tormentors, it says, so likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts forgive not ever you him, his brother, their trespasses. So Yahweh, you can see in the scriptures, he'll deliver you up to the tormentors, man. And the tormentors are evil angels. And evil angels are going to torment your mind and sift you out to have you not believe in reality, man. You have certain people, and I'm not trying to be funny because this is really sad. They don't know if they're asleep or awake sometimes, man. They're so in a delusion. They don't know if it's Thursday or Friday. Certain people mind so jacked up by not getting sleep or by battling demons and spirits that they feel like they just ate a meal when they never ate a meal. A delusion is scary. People are delusional in the truth, man. Who makes you delusional? Satan makes you delusional, man. He the ones that comes into your mind. That's why in Mark, the 4th chapter, about the sower that soweth the word, and Satan come and snatcheth away that was sown in your heart, and your heart is your mind. That means Satan can live and or dwell and come amongst your mind just as well as the word can. Right, let me get that real fast. In Mark. This is Mark chapter 4. Right? And I'm going to start at verse 14. The sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately. Check that out. And that's not just talking about the highways and byways. Because when you hear the truth, and what is the truth? The truth is you may be a liar, and you need to be told that you're a liar. But Satan will come immediately. I'm not a liar. No accountability. The truth may be you need to fast. Well, I did fast last month. You deny it. Satan comes immediately to your mind when the truth comes out, man. How many people can receive the truth? Very little. How many people love it for proof? Love of direction. Love of to be told righteously what to do, man. Very few. Because nobody wants to own up and cleanse and wash and mortify the things that they're actually dealing with. Nobody wants to look themselves in the mirror and see how filthy they actually are. What they are going to notice is that their hair is laid down, that they just put on some ointment. They are going to notice that their skin is glossing by putting on all of that, whatever the shea butter and, black seed oil. They're going to notice their good things and their compliments, how their beard is grown, right? They're going to notice how their face is cleansed, but their spirit and different things that they actually need to be looking at is never examined. It says this: these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. And the word could be exactly what you need to hear at the exact moment, at that exact time. Huh? How many people have gotten rebuked and or heard something they needed to hear, but they rejected it? That wasn't you rejecting it. That was Satan hopping on you, rejecting it, man. When you reject counsel, when a woman don't want to listen to her husband, when a husband don't want to hearken to counsel, no matter the situation, that's Satan hopping on you to take away the word that was sown in your heart. Because if you wouldn't have hearkened or to unto Satan, and or Satan would have never hopped on you, then you would have been perfect. You would have received that counsel. That woman would have hearkened to her husband, would have showed mercy to that sister, and things in the nation would have been perfect and undefiled, right? Let me get this quick precept, right? Let's go to the mighty book of John. It's the mighty book of John, chapter 11. Slocky, bear with me. 11, and I'm going to start at, this whole thing, 38, right? I'm going to start at 37. It says, and some of them said, cannot this man which openeth the eyes of the blind have caused even this man should have not died? Now, this is the account that Lazarus fell asleep. It says, Yahushua therefore, again groaning in himself, cometh to the grave, and it was a cave, and a stone was laid upon it. And that's spiritual, man. Why is a stone laid upon this man's grave, right? In a tomb. You may be locked up, and only Yahushua can set you free. They put a stone over the Lord's grave, man, right in sepulchre and cave where they had laid them. So only the Most High, Ba'ashem Yahushua, can raise the dead. We had a stone placed over us, spiritually, that we were locked up in the dead. That's why the Lord said he has the keys of death and hell. But he can raise you up from the dead, spiritually and physically, and only he can do that. It says this, and a stone was laid upon it. And Yahushua said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he had been dead 4 days. And you've been in sin and in darkness for an inevitable amount of time that can't be described. Yahushua said unto her, said I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of God? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid, and Yahushua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. This is the point. And when he had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. So as Lazarus is coming forth, and Lazarus is coming out the grave, and Lazarus is coming back from the dead, what spirit, what likeness, and what is he coming like? And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes. So the dead and spirits always try to have you bound. Now, this is spiritual more than it is physical. That don't mean they wrapped him up. He had chains on his damn feet, man. It's more spiritual than anything. It says, he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot. So when the Lord sets you free through that spirit, you're bound hand and foot. Satan has his hands wrapped around your neck, and you need help because you can't help yourself. If you can help yourself, you wouldn't need the Lord. That's why we're subject to hope. It says this, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was about with a napkin. Meaning what? He couldn't see. His hands were locked down. His feet was locked down. He couldn't see. Yahushua said unto him, loose him and let him go. The Lord said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Why do we need to be made free so much in the scriptures? Why are we bound so much? Because we're really under attack as a nation of people, man. The Lord said in the book of Zechariah, the 3rd chapter, that Satan standeth. Let me get that real fast. This is Zechariah chapter 3 and verse number 1. And he shewed me Joshua the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him. So as Joshua was trying to do the rebuilding and the rebuilding period, be a high priest to Israel, set up the ordinances, have men not to be slothful, have men to be on fire and run the nation, who's trying to stop him, to resist him? Who's the number one adversary? Everywhere he goes, he's right there. Satan. It says, and the Lord said unto Satan, the Lord rebuke thee, O Satan, even the Lord that thou hast chosen Jerusalem. Rebuke thee, is not this a band plucked out of the fire? Meaning, aren't we already coming out of slavery? Aren't we already plucked out of the fire? It says, now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel. And that just represents sin. It represents us at a lower state. It represents us not being in all white and pure. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, behold, I will cause thine iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with the change of raiment. So we need to be clothed with the change of raiment and clothed in purity, right? That we may be clean in the eyes of the Most High. Because you have to understand, even the high priest Joshua, Satan was standing to resist him. Didn't Satan stand up to David to provoke him to number Israel? Satan stood up to provoke Yahushua, to try to kill himself and cast himself down, that the angels may take thee up, lest they dash thy foot against the stone. Right? Let me get this quick precept. Right? We got to dive into it. This is the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 21 and verse 1. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. Now, did David listen to Satan? Yeah, he did. Now, is Satan, Aslaki, is a David off? No, he got manipulated. He got seduced. It says, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David. What's provoking? Your kids could provoke you for some candy. Can we please? Can we please? Can we please? They saying over and over, can I get some candy? No. Can I get some candy? No. You on the phone. Can I get some candy? No. Right? He's saying, can I get? Now they on your damn nerves, man. Just go in there and get the small one in the cabinet on the left. You didn't gave in, man. You didn't yield it to their request. When you provoke somebody over and over, didn't that happen to Samson, huh? Didn't he get provoked that he may shew her his strength? Over and over and over, Satan is just provoking your mind, provoking you in that same matter. Why you aren't getting provoked to be on fire? Or provoked to go harder in the spirit? That's not going to happen. It says, provoke David to number Israel. And David said to Joab and to the rulers of the people, go number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, that I may know it. And Joab said, the Lord make his people 100 times so many more as they be. But my lord the king, are they not all my Lord's servants? Why then doeth my Lord require this thing? Why will he be a cause of trespass to Israel? So even when Joab told David very politely in a spirit of guile that you're not thinking how you should in the spirit, he didn't listen. And that be us, man. Right? We're all guilty of it. Nevertheless, the king's word prevailed against Joab. Meaning the king said, you know what, I still want to do this. I made up my mind. After being provoked 7 times by the spiritual demon Satan, David went off and numbered Israel. So Satan and his provoking and his craftiness is what really we need to watch out for, man. The craftiness, the watching, the prowling, like a roaring lion. A roaring lion prowls. He watches. He stalks. He's in camouflage. He pounces. He waits till the opportune time while you're going down like the gazelle getting a cup of slaki. Not a glass or a cup. They sticking their face in the pond, man. They sticking their face in the lake, right? They're at the water, right? They sticking their face to get something to drink. Right when you least expect it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get pounced on. Well, let me get the classic. I got to get the classic, right? This is the mighty book of 1 Peter, right? Chapter 5 and verse number 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Didn't that happen, right, in the Garden of Eden? Let me get this real fast. I'm going to come back to that precept. It's the mighty book of Genesis, right? Chapter 3. And I'm going to start at 22. Right? It says, I'm going to start at 23. Therefore, the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden until the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So these spirits are running to and fro through the earth right now. That fourth seal, right, going into all of these spirits, going to and fro on the earth, that's deep, man. There's spirits of vengeance, spirits of war on the earth, right? Spirits of deceit, right? These same spirits have to come back on the earth, man. Just because men are waking up to the truth and wearing fringes, the Pharisees, the wicked ones, they have to come back on the earth. The Sadducees, the unjust rulers, the men that hated the Lord, the men that had an evil eye towards Paul. These same spirits have to come back on earth, right? It says this, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. Let me read that again. Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing the same afflictions. That should give you comfort, man. The same afflictions. While you're battling lust, it's a brother that look just like you, your same height, your same weight, your same tribe, somewhere in the earth, whether it be a different state or a different country. He's battling the same thing. A sister struggling with listening to her husband, man. It's a sister from your same tribe, probably your same age, battling that same thing. Brother battling not showing love or slothfulness. It's a brother that look just like you, from your same tribe, your same age, in the earth somewhere, dealing with the same thing. We're all dealing with the same things. Nobody has this mysterious spirit that nobody ever heard of, man. He deals with the mysterious demon that only troubles him and no one else. These spirits go to and fro throughout the earth, right, to trouble the same spirits. It says this, but the God of all grace, whom have called us into his eternal glory by Yahushua, after that we have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthened, settled you. It says after we have suffered for a while. You have to learn to suffer in the truth as well. Suffering isn't something anybody wants to go through, because suffering is uncomfortable. Suffering makes you to change. It helps you to examine. When you're in a state, you know, that's why who more fitting for us as Israelites to obtain true riches, because we know what it's like to be poor. Who other than Israel needs to be set free, because we know how it is to feel bound. Like we know, because we've been in darkness before we seen the light. We have to be able to endure, right? To be able to receive that crown and be set free, right? But let me get these 2 more precepts, right? And I'm going to close out. Right, this is the mighty book. Let me get this quick precept. It's the mighty book of Matthew. Or matter of fact, I'm going to get the mark account. Right, it's the book of Mark, chapter 10 and verse 46. And they came to Jericho. And as he went out of Jericho with his disciples and a great number of people, blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timotheus, sat by the highway side begging. Now this man in the spirit is Israel. He's blind. He has no hope. He doesn't know which direction he should go in. And when he heard that it was Yahushua of Nazareth, he began to cry out and said, Yahushua, thou son of David, have mercy on me. And many charged him that he should hold his peace. And I love this parable, you know, even though this is a physical account, but I mean, everything is twofold, especially in the Gospels. It says, I'm gonna read it again. And many charged him that he should hold his peace. So when you start going hard in the spirit, what tends to happen? You come to like an invisible breaks. Like nobody is just on fire like a train running damn track off the tracks. Nobody just stays 7-fold on fire until the day of the Lord. We all fall, man. Everybody falls. People have doubtful spirits, troubled spirits, weary spirits, frightful spirits, frantic spirits, right? And these spirits charged him, and they're going to charge you to hold your peace. Stop being so on fire. Stop calling out for the Lord. It says this, but he cried the more. So when you're in bondage and you need to be set free and you need eyes to see, you need to cry the more, go the harder. It says that he should hold his peace, but he cried the more a great deal. Thou son of David, have mercy on me. And Yahushua stood still and commanded him to be called. And they called the blind man, saying unto him, be of good comfort. Rise, he calleth thee. Right, let me get this last closing precept. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse number 2. Be watchful, right? And being watchful is manyfold, right? Iran, right? And all hell was breaking loose, man. With Iran, you got Israel, United States are trying to get involved, right? If Iran, you know, go to war and push that button, Russia's going to get involved. The United States is going to get involved. World War III is on the rise. It's at the brink. It's here. You just have to watch. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So keep watch, stay strong, be vigilant, be wise, be prudent, be patient. Have the spirit, right, of the Lord. And when you fall, get back up. Don't sit there and drown in misery, drown in depression, drown in a life to where I'm not chosen. Don't drown in your sins. Get up and keep going, man. You're going to fall. The Lord said the young men shall utterly fall, but them that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, man. So you want to renew your strength when you wait on the Lord, because you'll be renewed. That strength that was debased by whatever the hell you did is going to be strengthened once you stay strong and keep going, man. You think too much about it and dwell in it, right? You're going to be overtaken by Satan. That's why when Paul came to the church of Corinth, he said, I know I said that was the last precept, but let me get this one real fast. That's why even Paul said, lest Satan should get an advantage over you, man. Because he knew that if you drown and think about something so long, that Satan can get an advantage over your mind by you giving heed to it for so long. You thinking about something small for a long time. did I make a good decision? I don't know if I did, and maybe I didn't. And now, what's going to be the repercussions if it doesn't go well? And now you start sweating, and now you're changing who you are. You're not thinking straight. This is 2 Corinthians, right? Chapter 2 and verse 5. It says, but if any have caused grief, he have not grieved me, but in part. So Paul had to let this church know, I'm not as hurt as you think I am by this person doing me wrong. Because the church was in an uproar that this man offended Paul. And they were getting to the point where they were getting on this man for offending Paul. Now, Paul said, look, I let it go. I forgave him. Leave it alone. Like, I'm not as mad as y'all making it out to be. I'm only grieved in part that I may not overcharge you all. I'm not going to make a big deal about it in the church. Because if I say I'm heated about the matter, then that could be over hundreds of thousands of people pointing their finger at this man. That could cause suicidal thoughts. That could cause him being scared to come to congregation and to new moon. And that could sift him out the truth. And Paul knew the spirit of the spiritual demon Satan to corrupt this man by everybody coming against him. It said, sufficient to such a man is this punishment. The punishment that he's talking about is being, I don't want to say the word hated, but being admonished by the church. It says, which was afflicted of many. Meaning many people afflicted this man. So that contrariwise, ye ought to rather forgive him and comfort him, lest perhaps such a one should be swallowed up with over much sorrow. You could get over much sorrow in this thing, man. I mean, think about it. Your mother may pass away. You may lose your job and haven't found a stable income for 3 months. You can get over swallowed up in this thing, man. It don't take much to swallow up Jake. It don't take much at all. It says, I'm going to read that again. One should be swallowed up with overmuch sorrow. Wherefore, I beseech you that ye would confirm your love towards him. For this end also did I write, that I may know to prove of you whether you be obedient in all things. So Paul said, look, I know what's going to happen if you continuously admonish and get on this man. He's going to get swallowed up with overmuch grief. Satan is going to wrap his hands around his throat, and he's going to choke all of the fruit that this man could bring forth. He cared more about this man being in bondage to Satan than he did about his own emotions. Verse number 10. To whom ye forgive anything, I forgive also. For I forgave anything to whom I forgave it, for your sakes forgave it I in the persons of Yahushua. I mean, I'm not forgiving them in part, and I'm forgiving them in whole, and I'm doing it in the spirit of the Lord. Verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage. I'm going to read it again. Lest Satan should get an advantage. Satan's already on this man's mind. I offended Paul. I offended, he's over the churches. Now people are hating at me. People are getting on me. People are rebuking me. If you keep with this spirit, Satan is going to get advantage over that man. What happened to Judas Iscariot? Satan got in his mind to want to kill himself. What happened to certain spirits? Like, we could go all day. I'm about to be late for camp, or I'm about to wrap it up. But nevertheless, Satan could get an advantage over you, man. It says, of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. His devices means his craftiness, his cunningness. We're not ignorant of it, man. We know that that's not you, mom, and you, dad, and we know that that's not you, wife, or child. That's Satan on you. We know that that's not you, right? Whoever it is at work, we know that that's Satan trying to hop on you, man. We know that that's not the car that we just bought that broke down. We know that these things that are happening in our lives aren't just by chance. We're not ignorant of all of his devices, right? So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying, right? Lord willing, you continue to keep watch. You stay firm in the faith, right? You keep the Sabbath day mightily and perfect and spotless and blameless to the best of your ability. Stay strong in the spirit, right? Be diligent. Passover draweth nigh, right? And if you don't know, now you know, right? Stay strong in the spirit. And with that, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach, wa Malak Yahweh.